Good morning, Prof. Good morning. How are
Good morning.
you?
Good morning, Bibi. I'm fine. Thank you. Very well indeed. How are you?
Right. I'm very well. I'm very, very well. Thank you. It is a beautiful Sunday morning, so I've got nothing to complain about. The children are back at school, so no homeschooling and all of that. I'm very well.
And talking of children and Sunday, happy Mother's Day, Bibi. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, thank you. Well, was that for me or for like all our viewers? Or
Well, of course, I start with you, but yes, to everybody watching, happy Mother's Day, all our viewers.
Shall we start this all over again? Because it should be, oh, hi, Bibi, happy Mother's Day to you today. And then you go to the viewers. All right, viewers, don't worry. That's fine. I'm very easy. Thank you all for joining us today, and all for the mothers that are with us this morning. Happy Mother's Day to you all.
Happy Mother's Day.
You've got something interesting you are going to get today from your family, because I'm looking forward to what I will get today as well. But yeah, Prof, today's Mother's Day, as we've just said.
Which means I'm excluded from the celebrations. Thank you.
Please, you're not a mother, are you? Right?
Yeah,
so please, Father's Day will come. So let's just focus on the mothers today. But then again, the question I'm going to ask you this morning is still going to be, you're going to be like, but Bibi, I'm not a mother, right? But anyways, today's Mother's Day, as we're saying, and everyone celebrates their mother and all of that. But if we look at some of the recent incidents or recent events around us lately, in terms of a mother, in terms of being a mother, I personally would like to know, from your own perspective, Prof, what does a mother mean to you? What does it mean to be a mother to you?
To me, well, I guess you're asking me as a personal question, but of course, usually when I answer these questions, I try to capture multiple views as well, because otherwise my own personal view would not be as interesting. Who would be interested in my personal view? But,
you never know.
But you know what? Yes, I think that term mother, it's certainly steeped, in cultural connotations. I think that every culture, the term mother is not a term that is unique to any culture. It's not a term that we can even say originated specifically from any culture, but it's a term that we know is as old as, if you like, as old as time itself, as old as relationships, human relationships are. And if you trace it back to the scriptures, you would see that term as old as the Garden of Eden, because that's where we had the first report of motherhood in the Bible. And we can see certain things from there that start to point us to, for example, what the Christian worldview, the Judeo-Christian worldview would refer to as motherhood. But culturally speaking, and in my own experience, in our experiential, lives, when I say mother, I think of nurturing. I think of kindness. I think of really nurturing is that word that nurtures the most vulnerable through that period of vulnerability, nurtures, protects, even sacrifices, so that it's almost like there's a transfer of life, in many ways, through that nurturing and through sacrifices, both literally and figuratively. So, I think that's the term. Motherhood is such a powerful thing, because in every culture, it evokes such emotion. It evokes so much emotion, right?
Absolutely.
And that's why you find, and when you have words like that, there's a reason why there's so much, it's so emotion laden, because words themselves don't actually do justice to that term. Because when you ask anybody who is watching this show right now, think about your mother. What comes to mind? It's first a feeling that comes rather than words.
Absolutely. Yes, you see, Prof, I'm sure all the mothers watching this morning are loving you, because, if you had asked me that question and I was the one to say all of what you've just said now, it would be like, oh yeah, why are you just blowing your trumpet and all of that? But it's actually very nice to hear from a man you know what being a mother means to you. And I think you're very right there. It's the nurturing nature. You find for every woman who's had a child, you know, even if you've not had a child as well, you know, there's just this instinct. It's just natural. It comes to you naturally that you want to look after your environment, look after your children, look after your family. And most times it's like you come last. So you make sure every other person has eaten before it gets to you, you know. So, but that is so good to hear from you. So thank you very much. Thank you. I'm sure.
Can I actually ask you a question? I just want to
God.
a little bit, perhaps controversial, and pick up on what you said. So you said, you know, a mother takes care of the family, makes sure everybody eats first and things like that. Well, I do all that. Does that make me a mother?
Well, you do it. So let me think about that for 1 second. So you do all that, but you know, yours will probably be maybe you will think about it right now. Okay, I want to cook for my family. And then, okay, today I'm going to cook for my family. And then you go out, get the groceries and everything.
Yeah, but what if I do it every day?
But yeah, if you do it
what if I were a stay-at-home parent, right? And I'm primarily taking care of the children. Does that make me, from your definition,
that still doesn't make you a mother, though. That doesn't still make you a mother.
Make me a mother.
You said it yourself. Is the nurturing nature of a woman, right? You would ask me, are you saying now?
Is it contradictory? Is the nurturing nature? Is it nature? Is it nurture?
No, I feel like it is nature. I feel like it is. I mean, maybe because I'm yet to meet any woman really who isn't a nurturer.
Oh, I've met some.
Well, I haven't met any of that, to be honest.
But to your point, so I meet this woman who isn't a nurturer.
Yeah.
Does that make her not a mother?
Well, I don't know. Where she has children, we'll find out.
No. She has mother. She has children.
She has children, and she's not a nurturer.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say that there is something missing there. I'll say there's something.
But still, does that not mean that she's a mother? Or does that
she is still a mother. She is. I think by as you said, you know, the word mother came from where? In fact, I've never thought about it before. Like, where does this even come from? Do you understand? But the fact that she's got children, as people would say that, because you've got children doesn't necessarily make you a mother. I think there should be another. Maybe we should separate it and say you're either a mother and a nurturer, or you're a nurturer and you're not a mother, or something like that. You know, I don't know, because
you're saying now, baby, you've just done the separation. So what you're saying then, you're saying to me that it's more about nature than nurture. Because if you define motherhood just by nurturing, then a man who's trained himself and gone through all the motions and knows how to, in fact, is a better nurturer than many women, suddenly can say, well, on that basis, I'm a mother. So in fact, if it's nature, then that's a different conversation, right? A different proposition.
Do you know what? I truly think it is nature. I think it is nature, to be honest, because as you rightly said, you do have men who are hands-on. They pretty much would do everything that a mother does in the house, right? But does that really make them a mother? I don't think so. You know, which is why I would say it is nature. So it's whether now you can groom yourself to be a better mother, you know, you can, it's just like when people say things like, you know, actually, let me not go there yet, because there's something I'm coming to, because I know you love the Bible and you read the Bible a lot, so you might be able to help with that. But as I was saying, you know, if we're to say that a mother is just someone who nurtures, looks after the children and all of that, but this is stuff that we have men can do same thing. And you've said it, you cook at home. So if you cook at home, for me, I would say for a mother, it is different. The mechanics of it is different.
That was a hypothetical example, by the way. Well, I'm not saying it's not true. You're not trying, I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying hypothetically. So in other words, I haven't said whether or not I cook at home.
You just don't want Joyce to say to you, by the way, you said on the show that you cook. It's your turn to cook today, right? Well, that's what you're trying to get away from. But you know, the thing is, I think for women or for mothers, right? It's more of the amount of thinking that would have gone into what is it that needs to be done. So for instance, a mother would have thought about, what the family will eat from like Sunday for the rest of the week. But as a father, as a man who's hands-on, it might just be a case of, oh, today I feel like I want to cook. I'm going to be in charge of the kitchen today.
But baby, everything you're talking about is something that you can learn from training. It's, even the mother you're describing, some of these things are cultural constructs. If the mother has been in a culture where she's not expected to do all that, she wouldn't do it.
She wouldn't. Well, yes, you're right. But then that's why it takes me back to what I said earlier about a mother being, it's more of a nature thing. It is nature. There's absolutely no way we want to put it. Because if not, we're just going to be going back and forth on this and be saying the same thing, because there is nothing right now. Maybe back in the days, right, where the men were always the ones going to work and doing all sorts, and then the women were at home. Do you understand? Then maybe we can say that. We can actually say, oh, a mother is someone who cooks, who cleans, who stays home, who does this and that. Do you understand? But things have changed now. So both women, the father, the mother, are both working, are both cooking, are both doing school runs and homework and all of these things. So really, to be able to differentiate it, I think I would just put it to nature. A mother is what God has made a mother to be.
Wow, you've gone there. Okay, I think there are two key things here, right? There is the expression of it, okay, and that expression of motherhood is highly steeped in culture. You can't talk about the expression of motherhood without talking of culture, because it's culture that defines what is acceptable and what is not. Like I was saying to you, some things that you may say within a culture are expectations of a mother, or indeed somebody in the home, are not the expectations in the other culture. In fact, it might be the opposite. Yeah. So I think our definition of motherhood has got to rise beyond that. Otherwise, we don't have a common place to look. A question I have, and it's a rhetorical question. If motherhood was all about being able to take care of the children, then we would have to say that Moses' mother, until the princess, until the Pharaoh's daughter returned him to her, she was not his mother, because she was not able to take care of him for the first few months of his life, right? But that doesn't make sense, right? That's nonsense. We know that she was in fact, the Bible said she was his mother.
She was the mother.
So motherhood is fundamentally, right, beyond that. There is a fundamental thing by which, a fundamental rule, if you like, by which we define who a mother is. And you talked about nature, and then you talked about God. And I say that, in my view, okay, ultimately underpinning every definition we have of mother, underpinning everything else that is built on that, is the nature part of it, the biology part of it, okay? And if you like, the God part of it. Yeah. That's why we say a mother is somebody from whom the child has come. That's the fundamental definition. So even if the mother has given birth to the child and then is unable to take care of the child, you don't take away that motherhood from her. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever else, but that's still the mother. You see what I mean? And to talk about this cultural context, when you look at the Bible, you see something similar. You see that when that one of the definitions, or one of the ways a mother is defined, and by the way, when you try to see what the Hebrew word and some of these things, they're not very clear, because like I said, these are terms that have been there since antiquity. Nobody expects you to ask that you explain who a mother is. But one of the words there is source. And I think that sort of captures this, right? You would have, that child would have, as far as motherhood is concerned, would only have one source. Naturally. But in fact, even biologically speaking, yes, no matter, biologically speaking, you can do a couple of things. You can have multiple originators, multiple fathers, having children within one egg. So you have twins from two different fathers, whether that's natural or artificial, but you're still going to have one source. Right? Yeah. So I think that at the bottom of it, there's a definition of it, which is from nature, which is from God. And that's something that you can't change. If we regard motherhood, the mother, as the source of the child, then everything else is secondary. That's who mother. Right. So the father can try, do all the things. You can even, acculturate yourself from a very early age and do everything and think like the mother. It doesn't make you the mother. You're somebody that thinks like the mother and acts like the mother, but you're not the mother. Absolutely.
Do you know what? Just on that, I have got a question for you, and I know we've run out of time, but I'm going to ask this question anyway. And this is where you hear people say things like, "Oh, my spiritual mother." So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against that, right? But as we're saying now, who is the mother, right? When we're going to put it all together, we will say that fundamentally, this is what God has created. It is nature and it is the God factor there. And you said it, a child will only have one single source, right? So now I have said to you, Prof, by the way, I was speaking to my spiritual mother yesterday. What does that mean to you? I mean, is there anything, because I haven't come across that in the Bible, is there anything in the Bible that relates to, that can explain to us what it means to be a spiritual mother?
You know, I think what your question is actually a great one, because it brings us to the other aspect of motherhood, right? Now, if we go to that and we say the mother is the source and the child is born, now, there are two people that define who the mother is, or call a person a mother. There are the other people and there is the child. The funny thing is that the earliest person that calls a mother is not the child, it's the other people. But these are also the people that have the least interaction, or at least they don't have that relationship with the mother. How does a child then come to say mother? It's when the relationship builds. Without that relationship, the second part of it, but also the most existentially speaking, the most relevant part of it for that child, that part will be missing. So there's got to be that time, the relationship develops, then the child one day then looks and says, mother. Right? And so if that source, biological source, has walked away and somebody else is raising that child, and the child looks and says mother, remember, it's a cultural context, construct. The child is saying mother because the child has been told this is the term you use to address this person that's been nourishing you and taking care of you. And to bring to the point that you're talking about, I think that when we talk of a spiritual context, obviously we know that spiritually there's no male, there's no female. So we're not, when somebody says spiritual mother, spiritual father, they're not trying to say that spiritually speaking, somehow there's a male or female gender. What the person is trying to say is that I have a relationship with this person over time, and I've developed this relationship that for me exemplifies and represents that nurture, right? That represents that sacrificial relationship, that inspiration, that transfer of life, because that's one of the things that mothers do. Mothers will transfer life, literally, from themselves to the child.
So it's safe to say that you have a spiritual relationship with your spiritual mother.
Well, again, you're in a body, right? You're a human being in a body. You're not a spirit. So what does it mean to have a spiritual relationship?
No, like someone who teaches you about the spirit, the things of God.
I know, that's what I mean. It's a relationship in the body, and that's why you say mother, man, woman. Okay. But it's about spiritual things. So when you use that, it's really about yourself. It's really for yourself. You're saying it so that when somebody listens, they understand that you're talking about a woman or about a man. Yeah. But as far as what you're getting spiritually is concerned, it's spiritual food, it's spiritual value. Obviously, there's no gender attached to that, but you're using that term to express that relationship. That's really what you're doing. So I think that in our human walk, we always try to find ways of expressing spiritual things in our human walk. That is not to say that that's the way that those things are, but that's our approximation of the truth. So I hope it's been helpful.
Thank you very much, Prof. This has really been helpful. I'm sure our viewers would agree with me that we couldn't have had this conversation with another person other than Prof himself on Mother's Day, by the way. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Prof. Viewers, don't go anywhere. When we come back, it will be our Spotlight Minutes. See you soon.
See you.
Good morning, IJ. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, IJ. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Yes. You see, I don't know. Prof is greeting everyone Happy Mother's Day before he greeted me. So anyway.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Never mind that we spent the last 20 minutes talking about mothers, but fine. Happy Mother's Day again.
We'll just wait for our gifts in the post.
Exactly. Thank you. And Prof, I thought you thought that you've gotten away with that. No, we're waiting for our gifts, please.
Just delete these last few minutes. We didn't hear anything. IJ, before we get into Spotlight Minute, I just wanted to find out one thing about you that we wouldn't know or our viewers wouldn't know.
Okay, well, I work for the best football club in the world. Some may disagree, but I champion them as head of culture and office operations.
What football club is that?
Man United.
Oh, please. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, well done. But
some people would say, I can see some people saying boo right now. It's okay.
I know, right? No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just means that, yes, we can get some discounted tickets when the stadiums open for matches.
He's always looking
so
for
thank
free
you very
stuff on
much.
this show.
I am always looking for freebies on this show, by the way. So thank you for sharing that with us. All right. So we're going to go into it straight. I know that you have been watching this show, so you know what the Spotlight Minute is all about. So we've had 5 questions answered under 30 seconds. So let's see how many questions you will go through under 30 seconds. Maybe you'll be able to go with a trophy today, and then I can agree, maybe, yeah, your sports team is the best. But anyway, as always, Prof will read out the questions, and the timer will be on your screen. If you can't see it, don't worry about it. I'll tell you when your time is up, okay? If you don't know any question, or if you don't have the answer, just say pass, and it will read another question, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready? Prof, are you ready?
Ready to go.
All right, so your time starts now.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Read minds.
What is your favorite city?
Lisbon.
What is your favorite app?
Clubhouse.
If you could live in any historical decade, which one would it be?
Before Christ.
What's your favorite age?
34.
Is your job fulfilling, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, that was 6 questions. Oh my goodness, Prof, something happened there. See, I'm screaming.
Yeah, you see, I'm, you know, IJ, you know, you could have got more, right? You could have got more. The first question you were like,
I knew you were going to throw one in there that would make me go,
Yeah, but I made up for it, right? I mean, the last question was an easy one, okay? But still, congratulations, you did very well. We have a new person on top of the leaderboard. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, IJ.
Well done. Oh gosh, this is the best Mother's Day gift today for me. It's been a long time coming, right?
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
That 5 with the slide.
Well done. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in service, okay? Thank you. Again. Take care. Bye. Oh wow, Prof, we finally have a new winner.
I feel vindicated because I was saying that when IJ comes on this show, she's going to do well because I know she's been watching.
Please don't you want to start farming something.
No. I'm just saying what I saw. That's it. If you want to do well,
did you see it in the spirit or what? Did you see it in the spirit? Okay, well, IJ, that was so good. Thank you very much. So viewers, we have a new winner. And now it is 6 questions. So you had your chance to come in before you got to that. So right now it is 6. But anyways, Prof, as always, it is time for service. Please take us into service.
Yes, it's another exciting time to be in the house of God. It's Mother's Day, and we're still talking about wisdom, and we can't wait to see what Pastor Temi has got for us. Of course, last week it was Pastor Chris that preached. This week, Pastor Temi is back with a fresh word, hot off the press. Don't go anywhere. See you at the service. Enjoy.
That's right, guys. See you.